if you had a creditor class emerging, as they did in the late Roman Empire, in the Byzantine Empire, in the 9th and the 10th centuries of our era, the leading creditors would use their credit to appropriate the land of debtors who couldn't afford to pay the taxes. Well, pledge your land as collateral. We'll take it from you, just like America will take Latin American land to pay the debt. And they would get their own army. Well, okay, now you're a bond servant. You're part of our army. But it's as if they were telepaths and read Milton Friedman in the 19th century. And Margaret Thatcher said, well, let's just get rid of the government that is trying to prevent us from reducing the population to bondage. Let's attack Byzantium and Constantinople. And there were continual wars of the large creditor class and the landowning nobility against Constantinople. And at one point in the 10th century, Constantinople won. They wanted peace. They said, look, we have the strongest army here in Constantinople. We're stronger than you creditors. Just accept the fact, they were going to have a balanced economy, and we want the people to be free because we're threatened by all sorts of invaders coming from the east, and we have to defend ourselves, not to mention the Christians from the west, trying to loot us. And so there was a great, the emperor of the Byzantine Empire invited the rival general to have a dinner to make peace. And he sat down with the general and said, how can we prevent this kind of fighting that happened again? We're peaceful to you. We're not going to do anything to you. You can go back to your own land and have as much of the wealth as you possess, but you can't take the wealth away from the population. And the general said, well, he said exactly what a classical Greek tyrant said to another tyrant when Thrasybulus was asked, what do we do to prevent an oligarchy from taking over? Thrasybulus went to a wheat field, and he said, look here, wheat, they're all different sizes. He took a scythe, and he cut off the stalk so everything was at the same level. And he didn't have to put that into words. It was a visual metaphor. But the Byzantine general said, you have to prevent this egotism of the wealth from trying to take over. You have to tax them away. You have to prevent a wealthy oligarchy from developing, because if they do, they're going to want to keep attacking you and getting rid of the state, because that's what rich people do. Now, I thought that should be the center of modern economics. We're having the 1%, and what does the 1% try to do? It's taken over all of the universities in the United States. You don't learn about how to make a mixed economy, public-private economy with balance. You're taught how to let the free market let the rich people do whatever they want to the poor people. And the Romans were very clear about their idea of freedom. To the oligarchy in Rome, freedom was their right to do anything they wanted to their inferiors, to the rest of the population. That's what a free market is. It's a freedom for the creditors and the landowners to charge rent, and the monopolies to take as much as they want from their victims. And that is not exactly what Adam Smith and John Stuart Mill and the classical political economists meant by a free market. They meant a market free from monopoly rent, free from landlords, and especially free from private banking. And that fight has been going on ever since antiquity. So in the articles that I've done on the origins of money, the origins of credit, the origins of interest, you see a common theme from the Bronze Age inception of economic practices, economic enterprise in the Middle East, down through classical antiquity, through medieval Europe to today. The same kind of fight by wealthy classes wanting to be an oligarchy, a financial oligarchy, and taking over the government. That should be not only the theme of economics, do you want to support that or do you want to oppose it, but the theme of the history of civilization, as far as I'm concerned. That's what today's civilizational fight is between the NATO West, the golden billion, and the global majority in the BRICS, trying to create an alternative to the International Monetary Fund, to the World Bank, and to the whole neoliberal idea of getting rid of a government and letting private banks in the privatized financial sector control the most important public utility, which is money and credit.